Hey everybody, the Real Behemoth here, back in with another video for Heroes of History. Today we are going to be jumping into episode 5 of the new player guide. So episode 5 is going to be for pay-to-play players. So this is for the pay-to-win group. I know that this has been requested by a few of my viewers in some of the comments in previous videos. And so I wanted to make sure that I did touch on this. You know, I know that a majority of the group and people watching this video aren't typically going to be pay-to-win or will be on the lower tier of pay-to-win players and will hit both targets. So for pay-to-win players, what to stay away from and what to take, what to do, right? So firstly, for pay-to-win players, what deals in the offers are worth it, right? Let's look at the deals. So overall, this $130 deal, the max deal, typically when you're doing these types of deals, you want to go on the higher end. And the only reason you want that is because typically it's a better value. Now, a lot of these are very similar in value when you really detail it down. But the top one, of course, will have a slightly better deal than the others. So is this worth it? If you're just starting the game and you want to catch up to some of the older players, then sure. And early eras, the deal can be worth it. If you're anywhere in mid-game to end-game, the deal is absolutely not worth it, and I do not advise you to purchase it at all. If we're looking at the stamina bundle, this deal is actually not a bad deal. 100 victory boost tickets, 800 stamina, especially in these stamina type of events. This deal can come in very handy. You can only buy 2 per day, so keep that in mind. But if you are, let's say, short on Tesla crests and you need 800 stamina, well, if you're at the higher tier Tesla levels and it requires 20 stamina per level, you're really looking at, obviously 10 victory tickets per 20 or per 200 stamina. So 40 total tickets, which means you pocket the other 60. So in that case, the deal is worth it. You're saving your victory tickets so you don't have to manually play any of the other modes. I would say that this deal can be useful, but honestly, later on when you don't really need too much, it's not useful at all. Gems, the gem offers, the victory boost tickets, it's okay occasionally, but overall, I wouldn't suggest any of these gem offers. This, relatively useless. You can farm these type of materials. And then folios, I think folios, this 1500 gem offer is ridiculous. Almost $20 per folio is crazy. Do not suggest that at all. Overall, I think it's important for pay-to-win players to have a small stockpile of gems, and to each their own with however much amount that they're wanting to have on hand. Typically, I'll have anywhere from like 2,000 to 6,000, especially when some of the bigger events are ongoing. Now, this is the best deal in the game. It is a subscription, so please keep that in mind. It is a monthly subscription, but it really helps accelerate your growth. It gives you additional resource storage so that you can have a higher food and gold cap, things of that nature. And then that 2 times battle speed is massive. I don't know if you guys have ever purchased this before and then not used it in the future, but once you experience that 2 times battle speed, you're not going to want to go back. As far as the weekly offers, if you are a player who loves pulling and who loves summoning and loves the gacha aspect of the game, this deal is okay compared to some of their other deals. This deal is not terrible. However, if you're a min-maxer, I would not suggest this deal. If you're a hoarder, you want to save as many portal pulls as you can, stockpile for a later event, then this deal may be the deal for you. Weekly stamina, again, this deal's okay. I prefer the other stamina bundle myself, the $12.99 one for that instant payout and for more victory tickets personally. The victory ticket usage to this does not make sense. So I would not suggest that. Now, let's jump into what is worth it for pay-to-win players. The season passes are absolutely worth it for pay-to-win players. These arcane antimatter portals are very expensive, and then, of course, we all need ambrosia now, and then it'll get you closer to getting that legendary antimatter as well. So I would say that this pass every season is worth it and is worth the buy. Compared to some of their other offers that they send out, like the arcane antimatter offers, you're spending like like 60 or $100 or something for like 20 pulls. I think that's ridiculous. And it's not worth it unless you really, really need a hero. But we all know how expensive arcane antimatter pulls are. So with them being essentially 480 gems per pull, this deal is definitely worth it. Now, jumping into the Forge of Vulcan. We've had events like this before. We've had the winter event. We're having this Forge of Vulcan. There are going to be a lot more stamina type events to come. These events are absolutely worth spending, just some gems or some money on. This is really the key event that's going to make the difference for pay-to-win players. You're going to get your folios, you're going to get extra folios, you're going to get extra pulls, extra relics now, relic dust. So we're now increasing the pay to win gap from free to play players. It's not by much, but every little bit counts when you are a pay to win player in video games. So definitely recommend that, especially with relics introduced now. Having 20 more relics to equip on all of your heroes makes it a lot quicker of progress for things like treasure hunt as well. So jumping into the next thing, they have the money offers, they have these gem deals. They're pretty similar in value, so don't worry too much about it. Of course, you have more value on the higher end ones, so keep that in mind when you are choosing to spend in these types of events. Now, for when we're looking at your city, there are a few key important details that you want to note when looking at your city. Number one, luxury farms. We have a cap of 3 luxury farms per account now. Absolutely build them. Even if you're on the low tier spending, it will excel your game into that next level. So every luxury farm is a 3x3 space, and you are getting essentially, right here in Iberian, I'm getting almost 10,000 food per hour, versus if we look at a max luxury farm or a rural farm, I'm getting about 5,000. So it's about double. It's about double in value, and it actually takes up less space than a rural farm. So keep that in mind when building those. I would absolutely recommend them. It does cost 175 gems per era leveled up, per farm. So keep that in mind when you do build these luxury farms, but it will absolutely help your gameplay and your food production across the board. The other thing, luxury culture sites. Can't be understated. 2,800 for a 3x2 space versus 1,280 for a 2x2 space. So for an extra 2 small tiles, you're getting over double the culture that a moderate culture site would give you, for example. And comparing to a large culture site, 1,280 for an extra 2 tiles on top of the luxury culture site. Actually, 4 tiles it looks like, but they are expensive. They do cost 90 gems per level and per upgrade, so keep that in mind when building them, but it'll absolutely help you minimize your space, allowing you to build more farms, houses, other types of workshops, things of that nature, and excel your game. Now, what is not worth it? So in my personal opinion, at least, luxury homes, unless you're a massive pay-to-win player, they're definitely not worth it. You're getting the price of these medium homes, you're getting the workers of the medium homes for an extra or 2 less tiles. Of course, your storage capacity is significantly larger, and you're going to be making almost 3 times. It's about what does that look like? 2.5x. You're making 2.5x the production rate of coins, but coins, you're going to max them out. I mean, look at where my coins are right now. You need a lot of houses. You need a lot of things. So I would not suggest you doing that. Now, for the expansions, I would say this premium expansions are absolutely worth it. I would not recommend you buy the last 5. They're way too expensive. However, if you need them, and if you're really trying to push past, in these leaderboards and things of that nature, feel free to get them. But I definitely would recommend getting the first few. And, as land is, the premium, the premium currency in this game, as the game devs say it, you're going to definitely absolutely want additional land space. Some people have 2 workshops, that are running per... I've got 4 or 5 of each. So that's really going to help your gameplay. It'll help you in progressing your eras. It'll give you a little bit of wiggle room. And then the other side of things too, it's going to help you in your treasure hunt negotiations. Now, the last thing I did want to mention is having a strong alliance is absolutely key to this game. It's going to give you, essentially the things that you can't buy, right? You can't buy ability points right now. Your ability points or mastery points are very, very scarce as a resource. And then it'll also give you some additional Fountain of Youth tokens, so leveling up your Fountain of Youth. So keep that in mind when you are pushing. Now, the last note that I wanted to make regarding pay-to-win accounts and pay-to-win players. Second to last note. Pulls, absolutely important, but they can be very expensive. So pull to your liking, of course, but try and save for events if you have no reason to pull. Once you have a good roster and once you have a good setup, you can pretty much coast. You can level up your current heroes. You can get through a lot of the gameplay. So don't worry too much about the awaken levels yet. It's not supposed to all come at one time. So keep that in mind. And as I said, so the last note that I wanted to say is allied cultures. For allied culture events, do not buy the starter packs. If anything, if you want to purchase anything in the allied cultures, I would recommend that you buy the event boost if you're wanting to spend in those, but it's not needed. You can place gold in every single allied culture event for free. So keep that in mind. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and a couple of small tips and tricks for pay to wins. And I hope you guys have a good one. Please leave a like and subscribe.